Well, this is a fairly accurate replica of our Jesse's house location. We had a huge amount of action happen in it, so we decided we'd build it. We also decided to build it because the producers felt that 120 people at a meth party in a neighborhood probably wasn't politically correct. When you're in the meth business, you've got a fairly decent income. Jesse's always been into music and video games, so he treated himself. Once he installed it, he felt that maybe a party was in order, and the party followed. The house was trashed. There were some interesting goings-on.
Come on in.
And the transition back into reality, complete new paint, carpets, or draperies, etc., took us about 48 hours.
This coffee table, this is interesting. We were getting ready for season 4, and the coffee table was gone. So we took photographs, and our brilliant construction team pulled it together, made it beautiful.
It served us well as a location, but in fact, it's a set. We're on a sound stage, and just to our left is the White House.
It was very important to Vince to have a real truthful socioeconomic level for Walter White, and that meant a small house. Well, a small house is very difficult to film, so we needed a house that was in essence bigger on the inside than it was on the outside, so we had to design this. One of the things to notice, of course, are all the accommodations that a set can make that a practical house cannot. So, for example, the walls can come out and the ceilings come out. And this helps us a great deal. It helps us establish the best kind of look. You could not do this in a regular house with an 8-foot or a 9-foot ceiling. And here we have about, well, I guess that's about 12 feet up there. One of the fun things to notice is every time we build this, it's in essence new, but this is not a new house for the Whites. So when we do things like build a house, it needs aging. The set deck and the scenic artists come through and they actually age the sides of things. They dull it down so it looks like people have been passing by and touching things. We're in the kitchen. Now, when you have kitchen scenes, typically you need to be using the kitchen. So we do have special effects that allow us to turn on sinks and faucets. What you have to also keep in mind is that we're on a slab. We're on a stage floor. So a real house would have plumbing underneath. We have pretty much buckets underneath. So if we have to drain things, they will attach a hose out there so you'll get the water. Then we'll just drain into a bucket, and between takes we would empty it. In earlier seasons, we hid the money in that vent right there. Now, if we go around to the other side, you'll see that actually this wall is the other wall. It's only this wide. So when we were to do those shots, we added an air duct on that side and shot through it as if there was a wall there. We have doors to nowhere. I always like doors to nowhere. It's a big kick. It's like, wait a second, now you really understand this is not a real house. We're now in Walt Jr.'s room, and this is a great room to see how a number of people come together to really provide a sense of this is a real kid living in a real space feeling. We'll also consult the actor, in this case Walt Jr. What would you have? What would your character have in this room? And then all of these things have to be found, purchased, cataloged, they're all in here. You get the sense that somebody real is here. And that is so important. It really informs the story, it informs the character, and it helps contribute to the sense that this show has a life that's very specific to it. Welcome to Saul's office. It is unique. You would never be able to find anything like this in real life. You don't even try. All the set dressing, again, part of our production design department's things, all the false diplomas that you see. University of America Samoa is one of my favorites. Saul is a complicated character, and I think that who he is really reflected in this wonderful, wonderful set. And this is, I think, something that people always talk about, is the custom wallpaper of the American Constitution. I mean, this is just not something that you find off the rack. It's not something you'd put in a 5-year-old's room. And I don't know that any attorney in real life would want it, but it's really part of Saul's and his approach to things. And then, of course, the portholes that, I mean, come on. Again, you have a situation where all of these walls move out, these pillars move away. You're able to do kinds of shots here that you would never be able to do in real life and be more comfortable doing them and do them faster. Once again, we're in a set that is constructed for the purposes of shooting, so it only exists visually for us what exists on camera. So the camera will never see something like that out the back, which is our craft service table right now.
The original idea for the Meth Lab came out of the writer's room. Vince Gilligan and his merry band of cohorts decided that they needed the biggest, most advanced meth lab known to man. We wanted the most sterile, sanitary atmosphere possible. Some of the props we actually had to hand make. This is a thorium oxide furnace, which is a total invention built in-house, and it's the beginning of the process. This is probably the most used element in the lab. It's the cook mix tank. The control panel, we got lucky. We found this. We rewired it for our purposes, and it's actor interactive. They can turn the lights on, push buttons, have the lights come on and off. It's very visual, great background for the cooking process. The evaporators are part of the actual process. What it acts as basically a distillation process. There's 2 of them back to back, and they're exactly what the process requires visually. This is the filter bay. It's the next process from the evaporator. Basically, carbon filters remove all the impurities from the meth process. It's a very dirty process, and the whole premise of the show is that Walter White brews the finest methamphetamine known to man, and this is part of his scientific process. This is a new addition to our super lab. We never had an elevator access to the super lab from the laundry before. And this is 3 episodes old. It's built on springs, so it actually moves when it has a passenger in it. All the walls are wild. It has a sliding door and a cage door. This is Gail's coffee maker. This is something that, even though we've parted with Gail, Walt couldn't part with. It brews his favorite cuppa in the morning, and in fact, is going to be the linchpin to the finale in episode 13. A little rewiring, a little special effects magic, and the end.